So good evening, wherever you are in the world. It is Sunday, March 26th, and I'm just been feeling this call to share a little bit about what had come through, not only from my last podcast, but a vision that I received this last week. And the message was for us to not be in fear, but to really hold this place of complete trust, to be in faith. And what I was seeing was as if I was looking at the horizon, but I wasn't looking at the horizon and landscape. I was actually seeing the earth and space. And what was just above the earth was like a entanglement, as if to me, it was a contrast of what I saw above this entanglement. And above this entanglement were these points of white diamond light. And from those points, there was a geometric patterning of what they called, what I was hearing was collateral. These were collateral connections of these points of light. And then from there were like pillars or more of a filament of light anchoring down. So in between the earth's surface, as I'm seeing it out in space, there's like another canopy above it in a matrix geometric pattern of diamond light with these filaments that were like pillars, giving structure and bringing this down upon the earth. In that space between, it was, I'm hearing fragmented. It was like this dismantling, as if, if you had a bunch of threads jumbled up. It made me, my sense of this was a dismantling of consciousness or beliefs or a structure that we've been in, and that had been what was closest to the earth plane, but above that now was a new structure. So the analogy is really that of a rebuilding or remodel, if you will, of a house. You're going to lay the new structure to some degree to give it a framing. Let's just say you're going to expand your house another, let's say 5 feet, all the way around. You're going to build some sense of structure before you start tearing down the obsolete or the walls that you're wanting to get rid of, because you're not going to leave the old structure and then create the new. So these points of light felt like a new structure being put in place. It felt very much as if their collateral connection was a place of here encoding with each other. It really felt to me, my interpretation of this was these were souls already on the planet, but having a connection within a higher realm, a point of consciousness that they held, and they were bringing in their codes, their knowledge, their wisdom. It felt like they were wisdom keepers. They were the initial builders to create this new framework, which really resonates for me, because I don't believe there's any way we can dismantle without having something already, a framework in place for what is next. And I don't know if I mentioned this in a previous podcast before, but so I had signed up, basically signing a contract for some new software, but I was disappointed because there were some aspects of this that weren't totally transparent in terms of, at the time of me making this decision. It was later, there was like, oh, well, if you want these extra things, what you signed up was for the basic, let's just say the basic package. If you want more, they would be added on, but that wasn't explained fully in my mind. I didn't understand that fully. I didn't understand it fully in terms of the cost. So it was like a a moment of going, this isn't going to work with where we're headed. It's more like this is an opportunity to see where there may be inconsistencies and incongruencies with holding a higher vibration of authenticity, of totally being transparent, being of highest of integrity. And so instead of getting, well, I was upset. I will say I was upset, but I took it as, okay, this is an opportunity to really see that I don't believe that will hold water, will hold within a new structure or new framework. It's an opportunity to think about how we're going to do business in the new earth. I have no idea. I don't even know how that is going to, I don't know that the structures we have are going to be able to be even taken into that. They may be completely revamped. I've had a couple of conversations with women in my practice who are very much in the corporate world, in the business model, that's what they do. And it's like there's this strong resonance of let me say more of a passionate resonance, an energy of wanting to really tweeze out the contradictions, to really bring the highest vibration of purity to that which into the workplace, into everything, really everything that we do, whether it's our own being, or how we take care of ourselves, to how our relationships, our families, in every, I'm going to just say every container, the body as a container, our home as a container, our community as a container, and then the businesses within the community. Each one of those is a container, and how are we, and holds a consciousness and holds an energy field about it. And how are we what are we, our core values, what are we emanating, and how are we engaging with other people? So if authenticity is one of those to be carried into it, and high integrity, then it's time for us to really start weeding that out. And so what I felt like I was seeing in this middle space of earth and this diamond matrix that was pulling like a structure down was like a dismantled, kind of like if you were to do some yard work cleanup, there may be, especially in the fall when the leaves are falling, you rake the leaves and you create like a pile of those leaves. It was kind of like that. There's this pile, it was off center into the left, and it was just this, it was fragmented. It really felt like as if I had seen a similar, and then hearing canopy of this matrix had just crumbled. Now we have a new one that's higher up, higher, just bringing a symbolism of a higher vibration into maybe potentially a higher dimension. And so as I'm looking upon that, and it's very vibrant, it's very pure, pristine in terms of the frequency that it's carrying, and that it's communicating amongst itself. It's almost like if you took the stars and you were connecting them, to a constellation, but it's not the stars. This is a framework, I'm going to call it a matrix, of structure above the earth. And I'm only being shown a portion of it. Now, is that because that's all that's been manifested at this time? Or maybe that's what I am connected to. I really didn't go into the depths of that, because the message was simply a place of no fear, only faith. It's like, as we see things shattering, as I use that term with my car windows in the last one, as we see things shattering, we see things dismantled, we see things falling down, we see things crumbling into like a pile. It doesn't work. It's not holding, that structure can't hold the energy of what is to come. It doesn't resonate, it doesn't vibrate to the highest. If we're pulling in higher codes, and those, what was there is not going to align and resonate with it, it will fall apart. It will fall apart like a breaking of glass, because that pure resonant, the purity is coming in, and I don't know what I want to say that. It's having a place of disillusion. It's creating a disillusion and taking it apart. So as this was coming in as I'm driving. So as I'm feeling into it, I felt this immense peace. I felt like, you know what? All is good. All is in divine alignment, orchestration, recreation. This is a recreation. And there is no need for fear. I really felt a sense of whatever happens, it's all perfect. It's all divinely designed in a collaboration beyond what we can imagine. And again, I wasn't getting even above that. If there was other energies coming in and connecting into it, I'm sure there's more to it that I was not privy to. Think of it as a screenshot. The screenshot on your computer. It was like, bing, we're just going to show you this one piece, give you some energy about it, a message about it, take it into your heart, hold it into your heart, and then see how it needs to be dispensed. And my first for me, it was like, that's exactly where I'm feeling right now. And I even feel called to speak with that with my clients. It's like coming into the highest resonance for yourself in terms of your heart and your being and your life. And with that, the call is really about cleaning up those pile of leaves, cleaning out the contradictions. And that is something, I think I talked about that on another podcast that Patrick Gentempo, chiropractors, talked about. You know, to the degree that we have contradiction is the degree that we have destruction. And that is his paraphrase from Ayn Rand, she's a philosophical writer. So when you think about it, if this middle space, the earth here and this other higher collaboration and collateral sharing of let's say wisdom codes between soul consciousness in a higher dimension, and then they're starting to bring it down and creating these filaments of light and creating structure for the next piece to actually, for us to connect into. The contradictions have to be cleaned up. And this middle space of a dismantled matrix, to me, is that piece of, it's the contradictions. It's the stuff that is not of the highest integrity. It is not holding love. It is not holding divine truth. And because it's like, we want to get to the highest and purest and the most clear frequencies. We're not wanting to have it being muddled or no, it's like the fine tuning of the piano, you know, and I'm not a musician. So, you know, but we're wanting to get it at the right resonance, or the right pitch. I don't know if that's the appropriate word. You know, you want to get it to be the highest and most, and again, the word pristine is what I'm feeling for that. It is the clearest, the clearest. So as we come into that space ourselves, being the most clear within us, and what we put out, what we put out in terms of our thoughts, our words, our actions, but also that which we are trying and desiring, longing to co-create or be a part of, or what we are ourselves are here to manifest into form. Then we're going to come with the highest of light and the purest of that creation and manifestation. So, and my intention tonight too was to help you just come into that. And my prayer is that not only my words in terms of the energy that's coming through, but also the vibration, the energy in terms of, because they kept saying sonic earlier today. I kept getting it's like these sonic impulses of like the whales and the dolphins, even bats, you know, how there's a sonic frequency that we aren't hearing with our human ears. It's above that. And we can tune into these higher sonic frequencies. Then it's like the lighthouse beacon, you know, putting it out. It is those ripples that we see, you know, they will be picked up by every soul's pure heart if they're in that same resonance. And therefore the collateral wisdom and knowledge is actually becomes an activation. It comes as a live transmission amongst us. And I don't even know where all this is coming from, but it's like I'm seeing it, and it's like impulses. It's like impulses that are coming through and activating each other. And the way for us to really build momentum, and I'm getting this sense of hierarchy, and I don't mean that in a way of hierarchy amongst ourselves, but it's more like as we build into this hierarchy of what I'm seeing, as we build into that, like that is the hierarchy, that is the structure that we're looking for to create this new earth from a higher dimensional planes. And I don't even want to put a number on this. This doesn't even feel like it's meant to hold, like it may be going to the fifth dimension, but it's almost like, don't even cap it. You don't have to actually put that as a ceiling on it. Just allow it to be this canopy. It reminds me of her name is Christy Marie Sheldon. She talks, her whole what she brings forward is love or above. And that's what it makes me feel like. It's like we're gonna hit love or above it. You know, it's not below it. It's that or higher. And so thinking about it as a like a milestone, if you will, this is the first step, the first juncture to come to. And in order to get there, we have to do our own housework, yard work, the spring cleaning. We have to go in and do what we need to do to purify, purify. And so today, as I was in my meditation and also thinking about how I was to bring this forth, and honestly, when I sat down tonight, I was like, I don't know, I'm not even gonna look at what was coming through this morning. I'm just gonna sit with it and see. This is coming in as this white energy, like white, pure, clear purity of spirit, spiritual energy coming in with a gold. I think I've mentioned this before. There's like a gold thread that runs through it. And as it's coming in and anchoring into my heart and helping to expand and open my heart, some other energies will sometimes come through, some different rays will come through. And this, I'm like, there's platinum in here. I'm not quite sure what, I mean, I know platinum can come from a higher resonance. You know, as I'm looking it up, it's like it's one of the cosmic rays, and I can't even sit here and tell you, you know, what all that means. You'll have to look it up, see if it resonates, find whatever comes for you. But it was like, it's about holding like solid wisdom and a high degree of purification. In fact, the one post or blog I was reading, it was like, don't call it in if you're not ready, because you're going to have to let something go. And what that felt for me was like validation of what I was seeing and what I was getting in terms of today's message. So I just want to take a moment with you to invite you. It is simple as breathing, as simple as paying attention to your breath. Kanira sotorosia eshinikitare. But what I want to do is to invite you to start with it's called somatic respiratory integration. This was developed by Donnie Epstein. You can read his books. There's a workbook on it about the 12 stages of healing and what he was discovering in terms of working with people, their breath, their posturing, hand position. SRI-1, and it's somato respiratory integration. Somato is body, respiratory is breath. We're going to integrate that with the nerve system. The nerve system means there's lots of nerve endings within our hands. So each one of us can do this for ourselves. You want your hands, fingers together. So the fingers aren't going out, sending energy all different directions. The fingers are together on top of each other. And the first one is going to start at the your belly button, the umbilicus, and we're just going to do a couple breaths there. The next one is going to come here. It's at the xiphoid. You have to kind of push up into it, and then the next is going to be like right below this manubrium, this notch. Okay, and so first I want to do this only to really have you feel the rise and the fall under your hands. The rise and fall as your breath moves through the belly, as it moves through the heart space and even the higher heart. Some of it's going to be easier, some of it's maybe even harder. You might notice, wow, that was really easy to feel it in my breath. It's harder when I got here, into the chest. It was, like middle of the road here. And it can be either way. You might find it's actually way easier here. It's harder here. So my belly, it doesn't matter. I just really, and my intention is not so much to get you into this. This is like a place of peace, but for you to feel this expansion. And not a contraction like when you're going for a run or a high intensity workout and you're really using your abdominals to exhale, where it's, it's, and you're using your abs along with the diaphragm. This is just simply inhalation and letting it go. And with that, I want you to feel the place where you can start to expand and even hold some of that as an intention, as the intention of, once I reach that, even though I may exhale, I'm still holding open space. I don't have to go to a deeper contract. Physiologically, more is happening there, but on a spiritual level, you're actually expanding. And you're expanding more. And you're expanding more. So let's just start with your feeling this in your body of just expansion and contraction and the rise and the fall of the body in and the breath as it moves below your fingers. So I invite you to close your eyes, putting your hands together on your abdomen, on the belly button. Breathing through your nose and out your mouth. Just do at least 3 times and you'll move up. So you're actually at the xiphoid. It's like right here between, at your breastbone, at the where the ribs come together. And you're going to come up this higher heart. Feeling the rise. As you breathe, trying to touch into your hands. You may even feel a shift, wanting to reposition your body. And I want you to just come into your heart space, placing your hand wherever it's comfortable on your heart. And this time, it doesn't matter whether the hands are open. I want you, for me right now, it's the more I open my hands, the more I'm feeling my actual heart space, that energetic field, the field. So as you breathe in and out, we're connecting to spirit with the inflow. And as we exhale, we're letting go with the intention of all that is being ready to be dismantled, all that no longer serves, in the light and the purity of your spirit and source stream. So I want you to imagine a beautiful light above you, spiraling, as it's spiraling overhead and as wide as you wish it to be. I want you to just notice the energy within it, seeing, sensing, feeling this white light. And they're wanting you to see it with a sense of golden light and golden expansion, however that appears. Maybe blending right in, you might see a ribbon or a thread of gold interwoven, and actually they're saying sing, like you're singing it in with it. So allowing that energy to come through the higher energy centers and winding down. So it's like a funnel. It's wider at the top and then it starts coming in to your heart. And as you feel that moving down through, passing through your crown, connecting into your inner vision, into your voice, and into your heart, allow it to circulate. You may actually see it circulating in a horizontal plane as it's moving through with the expansion As you breathe, it's moving out. It's creating like a pulsation every time that you breathe and you inhale more spirit, exhale that which no longer serves. It's opening up. And because we're multidimensional and we're not on like a flat screen, this is also moving within the vertical plane. So you actually have like a gyroscope that's taking place here. You have this moving horizontally, you have it moving vertically, and therefore it's moving constantly, finding a rhythm. And the expansion comes more like a glow, a sphere. The heart space is expanding more as a sphere expands out, as well as front and back and up and down. So I want you to just imagine this opening up as a beautiful sphere as you expand and contract with your breath, and just start to see what is happening with the light. And what I'm seeing in the center is more clarity. It's almost as if the white has pushed to the edges with gold, and it all sits as if particles or tiny, as if almost like sugar or sand. It's crystallization on the edges, but it's like clear, and it is somewhat like glass, and yet it's not. There's a sense of like a liquid light within this sphere. As your heart opens more, you see the actual particles, and it may for you actually come like a band. It may have a whole band like white and gold. Allow it to be seen, because light will be, as we observe it, it will be seen as either like a ray, like a wave itself, or it will be seen as particles. And it may go back and forth as particles and as a waveform, more solid particles and waveform. As this heart expands, just allow the energy to be shown to you. What else? So they're starting to bring in a beautiful pink, bringing in divine feminine energy, bringing in love, saying to coalesce with the white purity of your soul and the gold of the Christ consciousness. And within that, I feel like there's like this, and again, of dipping in and out of this plasma energy to bring in deeper, if you desire. Know that this is something you must truly desire in terms of purification, like the greatest purification that you would desire for your whole being in your life, that you're really ready to let go of what no longer serves you. We ask that it be done so under the law of grace of the highest and best, as well as with ease, empowerment, joy, and sovereignty. So my sense of part of this this matrix that we're dissolving, that's being dismantled, is also one of codependency. It's dismantling that so that we can stand completely sovereign in the purity of our source stream and soul essence for what we have come here to do, and to co-create, not in codependency, but co-create as sovereign beings as the builders of the new earth, those that hold the keys and codes, and to help support the birth of this new creation, this new that we are recreating. We have returned, and we are realigning, and we are re-amplifying the energies in order to recreate from the purest and most pristine framework and encoding that our soul's blueprint, has declared that it will do. It will, it's made a promise. It's a promise of coming here. And I'm sensing some blue. They're saying aqua coming online. It's kind of moving through like a very soft blue, but also bringing in this more of an aquamarine, just like the crystal, these crystals that I have. And now there's a sense of more violet, of amethyst coming into the very center, like almost, looking at they're saying oasis, and it's like it's coming in. It's really difficult for me to give you the full understanding, but think of it as this oasis, meaning there's this sand. The sand isn't barren. The sand is particles of light, particles that hold energy, that hold knowledge, that hold intelligence. It holds all of infinity and creation within it in order to, and potentiality to create from. So that isn't a barren, empty desert. It is rich of potential and possibility. Okay, think of it as, and if you can see within that, these sparkles, these actual diamonds popping up, gold popping up, the plasma popping up. And that's important too, because this, as I was receiving this, it kept saying metallurgy. And I was trying to find this, and I kept getting metal allergy. No, there's a word. And in finding that, the actual word that I was receiving, it is combining metals in a way to amplify their properties, to bring them, whether it's greater strength or whatever it is. So gold, the Christ light, holds alchemy in this place of absolution, but also with this, they're saying the wisdom codes of platinum bring a higher purification process. Think of it as blending these two rays to really amplify the transformation, the alchemy, and the purification, so that we can truly not only shift, up level, and absolve it in love, to absolve it in eternal love and divine truth. So it's like it all goes back to the 0 point. It goes back to God's source, it goes back to the creator, where it can begin again. It can begin anew. And yet we keep the wisdom, we keep the intactment of the gift that the journey has brought us, the gift that the experience of being human gives us, that it is not it's not of a wasteland. It's not wasted by any way, shape, or form, no matter how painful. And I was feeling that I needed to bring up the wounding, the different wounding that we can end up encountering in our life, of feeling betrayed, feeling injustice, feeling rejection, feeling humiliation or shame, and feeling betrayal, and any subsets thereof. And are we operating from a place that those get triggered? even unconsciously, when we start playing it out in a way that maybe prevents us, or maybe we end up bypassing that particular healing on the deepest level. And I have come within my own process of this, in my sitting in prayer and meditation, like, show me where I am needing to bring more light and more love to aspects of myself. Where is it? Where is the earliest that has occurred? Where has that originated in this lifetime, or was it from another lifetime? Is it attached to that? Or is there a frequency band? And I feel like what they're meaning that is there's a frequency band that we are kind of dancing around of different experiences, but it holds a theme. It holds a theme of betrayal. And there's all these different experiences that we have, but what we're working on is ultimately betrayal. And I'm not telling you how to do this. And I know there's some pretty amazing people in the world who are able to actually walk you through that. The way I do that is what shows up in my vision, what shows up in a session, where are we guided by the soul and the spirit team of the highest light to be shown in that moment what is the highest and best. And it could be something totally different, but we go with that intention. And so I want you to just breathe into this space of your heart and having it expand as fully as possible, holding the keys and codes for transmutation, transformation, alchemy, purification, and the wisdom. And if you wish, just reaching up your arms as if you're actually taking the energy of your heart all the way up through the universe, up to heaven's gate, just knowing that as your hands extend, they're extending, that energy is reaching up as high as potentially possible and through infinity. And I want you to just imagine the energy of your connection to all that is in this space, and that whirlwind, that beautiful funnel of energy that swirls within the cosmic realm, the galactic realm, all the way through and down into you. And just connect to that space right now and just see, sense, and feel the magnificence of your connection. And in this space, we actually become the chalice. You are the cup to receive the holy, divine, living waters from the Most High to come in. And you may see this as potential colors. You may see it as blue or sapphire. So you connect directly with the Mother. As it comes into our heart, through the chalice, we make a direct connection into Mother Earth and connect to her heart. Let's just imagine for a moment the energy going from our heart out and down. Whereas this represents the chalice and it holds the tetrahedron more in the shape of the womb. The womb, this would be more in the shape of a pyramid and represents the energy of the Divine Father. And you may see, sense, or feel that as a pyramid. You may see it as an emerald tetrahedron. And then with your intention, we're going to allow these two tetrahedrons that their point of connection is within our heart to traverse and coalesce to find a place within heart space. And I'm getting the impression where it clicks in. It clicks in and they join in a beautiful Merkaba. A Merkaba that is held, outlined in gold filaments. Like every potential angle is an edge. Every edge of it is gold, the Christ light. But it is filled in with the feminine principle. For me, I see it as blue, like a blue sapphire. With the masculine principle, I see it as emerald, as the emerald ray filled in. And when they come together, they do their appropriate spin. One moves one direction, the other moves the other. And we ask that they spin appropriately, uniting the divine feminine and the divine masculine within our heart. And it's all within a gold sphere, a beautiful gold sphere, as large and expansive as you desire. Sometimes this is really big during meditation, and then sometimes I bring it in as I go through my day. And within the sphere itself, between this Merkaba and the sphere, is a beautiful amethyst, violet, magenta, and pink swirling energy. It's swirling of transmutation as well as love. And I'm seeing now to emitting gold. And it may pulse out just as a sphere, or you may be actually sending it more like rays of light, like the sun. Show me both now, right now. So what I'm sensing is, as we bring greater clarity and purity within our vision, our breath, and the flame within our higher heart, our ability to co-create is amplified. And in that purity, in that sovereignty, we are able to connect more into those other points that are being held higher within the dimensional field. And it comes in. It comes in to us as we hold the connection with it. It's like the glory is ours as we do the I'm going to say just the processing. I don't necessarily want to say it's work. It's the processing, the inner processing, the inner purification, going in of desire to like let's look. Let's go into the closet, okay? And when we go do spring cleaning, let's say we're going to clean out our closet, we pull it all out, right? Let's just pull it all out. Let's see what's in there, what needs to be wiped down, what needs to be cleaned. And then let's see what we really want to put back in. Maybe we don't want to put any of it in. Maybe it's time to get rid of that, everything that was in there. Maybe there's certain, let's just say it's clothing, there's certain pieces I want to keep. There's certain things that actually feels like that is part of the clothing, that is part of the coat that I wear, I can wear. It resonates with the vibration of this body temple. Other things may be like, I can't wear that color. I can't wear that color anymore. It doesn't vibrate, it doesn't connect with who I am at this higher frequency. And so as we, they're saying rebuild, as we are rebuilding ourselves, as we come into this higher alignment, we're going to find that we cannot, everything can't go back in. It's like it's time to purify as well as to simplify. That I'm getting the sense of like that one diamond particle has so much richness in it that like you can't even imagine. The simplicity of purity and clarity will extend and create greater magnificence. It's like the energy of it is far beyond what you've ever imagined. And the sense of that right now is if you were to see like a diamond ring, and it's been really cleaned, you know, it's gone in, you've gone to the jeweler and you've had it polished and cleaned, it like shines beyond. It may have looked clean, it may have looked clear, it may have looked polished, but now it's like, so the simplicity along with the purity of our own frequency, and they're saying outshine anything that you can imagine at this level of consciousness. So I invite you to take some final cleansing breaths and just honor your heart, your heart's rhythm, your heart's knowing, your heart's connection with the divine and with each other, as well as your connection that you are not even aware of at this time. I believe we are working with each other within that telepathic realm of vibration. We use the word sonic because they have been planting that seed as we continue to and they're giving me the sense of even the migration. As birds migrate, they have a way of communication. As we continue our migration as a collective and coming into like our own pods, you know, our own families, our soul connections, the more beautiful we will see how this has been divinely orchestrated, and that we are creating, collaborating, and coming up to something beyond magnificent for this new world that we will call the new earth, and be blessed to not only walk upon it, but to have been a part of the rebuilding and the recreation of it. Blessed be, blessed be, blessed be. Much love. And have a wonderful week.